Okay, we're on Sanhedrin Perek Mishnah Bet, second Mishnah, the fifth chapter of Masechet Sanhedrin. We talk about Rishan Chakira, and now we're going to talk about B'dikot. Remember we said that B'dikot, the Bartunura said they were examinations, we find the Bartunura, okay, that were done, okay, Lasot Ha'idut Muchesh, in order to find contradictory evidence. And so we've discussed before about Chazal's distaste for capital punishment and their desire to try to minimize it. And the way you minimize it is very simple. Kol Amar B'dikot, the more b'dikot, the more examinations you do, that is praiseworthy. Meaning the more Sanhedrin will ask and ask, the more questions you ask, the more your ability to find edut mucheshet, contradictory evidence. Because you say, well, what was the color of the stripe on his shirt? And one guy says blue, and one guy says, I think, green. Oh, they must not be talking about the same thing. You could do that if you want. Ben Zakai, Ben Zakai, okay, asked, he checked, he examined the bedika, is the ukse about the ukatsim, is the stems of the figs. What's the stems of the figs? The witnesses came and said, a guy killed under the fig tree. Ubadak ben Zakai asked, what were the stems on this fig tree like? Okay, were they thick or were they thin? Now, I think that this obviously depends on not just a desire not to put people to death, but also a desire to come to the correct verdict. Meaning, if the rabbis had a feeling that these people were lying, they'd probably be marbeh b'bdikot. If they felt that it was a closed, open and shut case, that it was obvious that this murder had taken place or this crime had taken place, then they probably also they took into account that and I guess we're not marbeh to the point where they try to uproot the sense of justice. There's a balancing act, it seems to me, in this area. Okay, ma ben chakirot lebedikot. What's the difference between chakirot that we said about drishan chakira and these bedikot? It's the following. Chakirot, in the case of chakirot, remember we said time, place, what day, what year. Chad omer eni yodea. If one of the witnesses says, I don't know, you say, what day was it? He says, I don't remember. Edutan b'teila. You cancel the edut. But b'dikot, you say, what color was his shirt? Or where, I don't know. What kind of knife was it? If one of the witnesses says, I don't know. Even if both of them say, we don't know what kind of knife it was a knife. Edutan kayemet. It doesn't negate their testimony. The only time their testimony is uprooted is when they say contradictory things. Mishnah concludes, Echad chakirot ve'echad b'dikot. But, this is what we said, whether it's chakirot or b'dikot, bisman shemachrishim ze et ze, if they contradict each one another, then edutam b'teila, then their testimony is nullified. We'll stop here and dedicate our learning as we always do to memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.